Hey, what's up guys? Today in this video I'm going to be going over, I guess, a couple utilities that I've been working on. Let me just quick close this real quick. Um, I've been working on a couple utilities. You can see it says systray. Alright. Uh, I have the app, I have update progress, I have a settings app, and when all of those are combined, you will end up with a icon down here. Let me just show you where that lives. This is actually here. Let me see if this is the right one. Yep. Okay. So basically, I double click this. In a second, you're going to see it says artillery tray is starting. Gives you a pop up. It's going to go away. And what that leaves you with is this little icon here. Now, if you right click this icon, you can see it's got a few options available to it. It's got settings, logs, check for updates, service control, and console. I'll first start with the settings app. Most of these utilities require admin because you're making changes, and it is Windows. So the Tray app itself does not need admin. It runs as a regular user. But anyway, this is the artillery settings manager that I've created. This whole project is created with WX Python. It gives you the artillery version, the OS you're running on, where it's installed, the interface, total ports, open ports, total band IPs, and it gives you the service PID if it's active. On the services tab, got a few things here. On the monitor tab, I got anti-DOS, can enable, change the ports, throttle, burst rate, burst limit, excuse me. On the folder tab, you can enable it. You can also perform certain other checks on Windows. On FTP, SSH, and Apache, you can enable shbrute, FTP brute, port check. Apache, you can set the log locations. This is here. It doesn't matter. We're going to go to the updates file tab. You can enable automatic updates. This only works on Linux. I have built a new method on Windows. I'll show you that here in a minute. But it will apply to this too. It's just a different method. You can set the location, set the frequency. On the thread feed tab, you can enable feeds, enable the server, enable the local band list, change all the various options associated with it. The refresh rate, recycle IPs, extra does additional source feeds, logging. You can do the email, change all the options here. Syslog, same thing. You can change all the options. Change the host, change the alert message. And on the honeypot tab, you can select the adapter that you have, change the ports, prefix, and all the other options that are associated with that. But the main reason I wanted to show this is because this does check the active services status, active status of the service, and you'll see why that's relevant here in a minute. I'm just going to close that for now. I'm going to say no because I don't want to apply the changes. Right click it, go into the logs. You have the alert log. This is the log directly from artillery. So you can see the last, it's the same process ID as what you saw in the settings manager. So artillery is running. Here, let me close this. You can go to the updates log. This is currently blank, but my method is working. I just don't write to this file right now at the moment. I'll show you what that actually does. And the systray logs. I am going to add one more log here, but It's not in this, so it'll be coming. But basically, this will tell you. This tells you everything that the systray app is doing. You can check for updates. No updates were detected. Basically, what this does is it reaches out to a GitHub site that I control, and it's got a text file with the latest version of artillery. And if it's different than what you have installed, it will update. And I'll show you the update process here in a second. The service, I can stop, start, restart the service, and just to show, it's going to stop. You won't see that window when it pops up, when it's released. It's just running in whatever. Settings, open this again just to show you that it is in fact off. And see service is not active. Let's close this. I'm going to start it back up. Okay. I'm not going to do the restart console. I don't know if this is going to be in the first public release. It is here, but it needs some work. This is basically a shell that I've created that, you know, these controls like start, stop, restart, they're all managed. They're all the same ones you just saw in the list, but they're not. They're linked here, but ban list, you can add an entry, you can remove an entry, you can view the logs. I have to change this because there's more than one log now. And map is this doesn't do anything yet, but I am working on a attack style map that basically will take in a list of IP addresses, and it will map them in the traditional home arc to target thing that you've seen online. And it tries to get a little bit more information about the actual IP to display, but for now it's not done yet. So I'm just going to close this, and I mean for that's pretty much it. I can exit. This will actually close the tray app itself. But one thing I did want to show is you see the check for updates, and then I got no updates back, right? So I'm going to run this file because this is going to be my update mechanism. And basically what it does is it reaches out to GitHub, it downloads the archive, it replaces the archive with, it replaces what you have locally with what it downloads, and it handles stopping, starting, and all that stuff. So I'm just going to run this, and it basically just gives you a progress. Right now this is writing to test folders, so it's not actually overwriting anything yet, but as soon as I change the flag, it'll work. It'll actually overwrite the real location. This does take a minute. The whole process, I've got it down to around 2 minutes between starting this and actually finishing the update and everything being restarted. I am actually thinking about reworking the repo because most of the time is spent here. So I know that if I reduce what's in the repo, it'll make the download faster. I'm actually thinking about removing the MSI and just including the actual binaries. I'll put the MSI, I'll include it in a different way. It's going to extract all the files. It's checking for it's going to back up your existing config. The service is active. This pops up. It's going to say, yeah, you won't see this in normal mode because it is running as admin, so it won't ask you this. Says for remove. It's going to copy the archive over, create the directories, restore the config. Now it's trying to restart the service. It's already started. Perform cleanup. And now it's going to finish the update. And then it gives you a pop-up on the bottom to let you know that it's done. And that's it. And then it just closes itself. And now if I go back into settings, before where you see, we'll find out what the new, see, so now it's 15.836. And if you actually want to verify that, which you don't really need to, but you can, if you go into alerts and you scroll all the way down to the last entry, it should match. So the current process IDs should match, and then you know that it's okay. I am thinking about adding a couple more things here on the startup, and I'm actually considering artillery startup being placed in a different log. It's not going to be in alerts because I've reworked the email client. It's a self-contained class with a timer that checks the file, and if it's changed, it gathers up the alert file and processes everything and sends it out. And it does it once. I have a trigger set so that it won't, the old method where you'd get scanned and it would send an alert for every port, it will not do that anymore. You get an alert and it records it where it needs to, but then that triggers the email, which I've got controls in that it only fires once, and it'll clean up after itself when it's done, but it'll take all the information that it's received. So you have 10 ports open, and of course you have 10 alerts. It'll gather all that in one email and send it out, so that you don't get blasted with emails. But other than that, that's it. I hope that you guys like this, and if you have any comments or any questions or anything, just hit me up on my GitHub, and or leave a message in the comments. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.